A very warm greetings to all of you watching this FB video session live with us. Like the last time, this is a continuation of the series that we are doing on those who are wishing to sell their properties in India. What are the things they need to know? And I raised some points which I would quickly recap now, and then of course go on to do further areas where they need to know information that they need to know before they are attempting to sell their properties in India. So quickly recapping what I told you last time, anybody who wants to sell a property in India can do it in two ways. दो तरीके से आप अपनी प्रॉपर्टी बेच सकते हैं. बायर आपके पास है, प्राइस आपने फाइनलाइज कर ली है. अब आप या तो खुद आए इंडिया और यहाँ आके आप साइन करें जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैं, ट्रांजैक्शनल जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स होते हैं, जिनमें हमने लास्ट टाइम बताया था कि यू हैव टू हैव अ परचेज डीड, यू हैव टू हैव अ रजिस्टर्ड सेल डीड. Buyers have to have a registered purchase deed and the sellers have to have a registered sale deed. Anybody who is wanting to sell or is selling a property in India must know that he has to pay capital gain tax. What is capital gain tax? Capital gain tax is a tax that you pay on the difference that you earn between purchase of a property and sale of a property. Supposing you bought a property for an X amount and you sell it for a Y amount, the difference of that amount is what you pay a capital gain tax on. So the chartered accountants will calculate it. They will do the indexing, and according to the indexing, the percentage is normally varying between 20 to 22%. A chartered accountant will tell you exactly what it is, and you have to pay that tax. If you have, and it has to be documented. एक documented तरीके से आपके पास कैपिटल गेन टैक्स पे किया हुआ है, ये आपके पास रिटन फॉर्मेट में होना चाहिए. कैसे पता चलता है? आप सोचते हैं, और बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे सोचते हैं शायद कि वो बाहर रहते हैं, दे स्टे ओवरसीज एंड दे प्रोबेबली विल गो अनडिटेक्टेड, और दे themselves don't know about it because they don't have a professionals to guide them or anybody to guide them that how important it is. So I want to actually tell you how important it is to pay this, and if you don't pay this, there are heavy penalties that you will incur. Not only the heavy penalties that you incur, they are compoundable year on year. So there are two ways. So what happens when you sell a property? So first, you sell a property, you will do a registered sale deed, which is the document for your transaction to prove that you've sold the property. That sale deed, as you know, is registered here with the local government authorities, which is the sub-registrar's office. These days, the government is randomly checking on the registered sale deeds done, and they find out if the capital gain tax is not paid. Whether you are an NRI, they don't know, or whether you are a resident Indian, they are going to, if they find there is a discrepancy and the tax is not paid, they would start the proceedings against you from taking the information from the registered sale deed. The second thing is that even if that goes undetected, once you sell the property, you park the money in a bank. So these banks are randomly, whenever you are parking the money, the information now is collated and by the authorities, since all the financial transactions are under scanner, and the government is becoming very, very vigilant on the money that is being parked in the banks, and they are all linking it up together. After that, you could probably come into scrutiny if those accounts are not governed or not, they are not accountable for. So there would be a check, and if capital gain tax is not paid, they will immediately open an inquiry at the income tax department, and they would start to send you a notice to come and represent yourself, to come and tell them where has this money come from. And this is a very, very common scenario, and more and more people who do not know, and they park their funds and they leave the country. वो country छोड़ के बाहर चले जाते और अपने पैसे यहाँ पे बैंक्स में जमा करा के, और उनको नोटिसेस आते हैं वो नोटिस को या उनको मिलते नहीं है या उनको सीरियसली नहीं लेते, एंड they get into a lot of trouble. Before I go what kind of troubles, as I would elaborate in a little while, here at this point I would also like to tell you that when you sell the property in India, there are two governing prices. There is one price which is mentioned clearly on the registered sale deed price. I want to tell everybody that the capital gain tax that you have to pay, you have to pay on the registered sale deed price only. That is your liability, whatever your transactional value is. Some people in their dealings might get excess money in cash, and they very often do not know the difference between the valid money that they have gotten through the registered sale deed, that value, and anything excess. They park it all together in the bank. Please don't do that. जो पैसा आपको मिलता है, आप सिर्फ वही पैसा बैंक में डालिए जो रजिस्टर्ड सेल डीड पे मेंशन है. एक्सेस पैसे को आप बता नहीं पाएंगे, तो इसलिए उसी पे कैपिटल गेन टैक्स लागू होता है. So once the authorities get to know, I would now elaborate on a case that we are dealing with, that there was this person who sold his property in 2008, and he got 30 lakhs of money, and he parked that money not knowing the whole amount in a bank. Now he started to get notices. In fact, there was a UK address of his also mentioned there. The notices were also sent on the UK address, to which he said that he did not understand English and he didn't know what to do, and he never responded. To your utter shock, what I'm going to tell you is that from 2008, this case had initiated. The government kept sending him notices on which he did not act, did not do anything. Ultimately, the case ran its full course, and there was an order placed that he had an FD. The penalties on the capital gain tax was levied. Over and above those penalties, they were compoundable penalties. Ultimately, he had an FD here, fixed deposit था उसके पास 44 lakhs का. The total amount that was calculated by the income tax department that he was now liable to pay was 34 lakhs. 30 lakh उसने की property बेची थी. 34 lakh, that means on a sale of 30 lakhs, he incurred penalties of up to horrifyingly 34 lakhs. And the entire money, it was a freeze. The bank was summoned. The banker was trying to hold those funds for some reason, maybe trying to help his client. He was given a penalty of 10,000, and the excess money, his fixed deposit was broken into, and the money was taken. Only after he got to know that his money has gone from the bank account, that he actually contacted us. And this case is right now with us, and we are trying to make representations to the income tax department, now trying to explain from where the money came and why he did not represent himself. So those of you who think they are living overseas, जो बाहर रहते हैं और सोचते हैं उनको नहीं जरूरत या उनको कोई पकड़ नहीं पाएगा, I just want to stress that that is not the case. There is now a very proper system and a very thorough investigation on if your property transaction is not up to date. So you need to have professionals, chartered accountants, lawyers helping you on every deal, and not relying and not taking the advantage that you are sitting overseas and that you would not be liable to pay. So that is very, very important. Second thing that I would want to tell you is another case. I would say, whenever you're purchasing a property, supposing this was about sale and how transaction is, but if you're purchasing a property, you need to have your source of funds very clearly marked. We had a very recent case where a man came and bought a property for 1 CR, and he got his registered sale deed done, and that was questioned, and he did not represent himself. and there was actually a penalty levied on him, and he was absolutely shocked when he was supposed to be, he was given a large penalty to pay on that one amount of 1 crore. The only reason we were able to help and resolve this matter was that fortunately for this man, he had the source of funds clearly defined, and we could actually represent him and could explain it to the authorities that these are his source of funds, and that is how he could be saved from getting a heavy penalty. So whether you are buying a property or whether you are selling a property, you need to know that these documents of the source of funds, your complete transaction, your complete understanding of what you require are of utmost importance. It looks very easy that you have a buyer and you have this property in India and that you're going to sell it, hum bech denge. And then the other thing is that all of you, when you wish to sell a property in India, almost a great vast majority of them want to take that money away from India. If any of these vital documents are missing, if your sale deed is not clearly tabulated and registered, if your capital gain tax is not paid, you will not be able to repatriate these funds, whether they are resident accounts, whether they are NRO accounts, wherever your money is parked. The banks will not be able to release them without the list. These days, the banks are probably not even going to accept the money. Such is the strictness now in the system. But even if you are able to, and the banks accept the money, they will not be able to release the money to an overseas location in the absence. So this money is almost like very, very much stuck in India. So these things are to be kept in mind when you are selling a property in India. I would also highlight another situation which is very important, which is that whenever you are starting a relationship with a buyer, जब आप शुरुआत करते हैं buyer से, तो एक document होता है, उसको कहते हैं agreement to sell, which is the initial intention document, which is intention to sell. So that is a document which is prior to completion of transaction, of registering a sale deed. You have an understanding, and this understanding document is agreement to sell. So first of all, this agreement to sell should also be a registered document, whatever the terms and conditions. Now for those terms and conditions, the clauses to be to your advantage, please do not use a standard template which is normally what is available absolutely very, very easily with these real estate agents. They have very generic terms, and those terms sometimes are not at all advantageous. So make sure that whenever you are signing any document regarding to your sale, may it be an initial intention document as an agreement to sell, that document should also be vetted by a professional lawyer, so that those terms and conditions are absolutely clear, and so that you do not land up in any problem. And for that, I will tell you why. Once you sign an agreement to sell, you are selling your property, and the buyer who is buying is also signing this, and you are registering this. Supposing the buyer is supposed to complete these formalities and complete the entire transaction in an X amount of time, let's say 1 year, and he's supposed to make 6 payments every 2 months for a period of 1 year, and this is all enshrined, or ye sab us agreement to sell mein hai. Now this agreement to sell, supposing the buyer has not completed his part of the bargain, वो जो terms हैं payments देने की, वो payments पे वो आपको payment नहीं देता. और ये हजारों ऐसे cases हमारे सामने आते हैं रोज, जिसमें buyer has backed out or he's not giving the payments on time, generally speaking not adhering to the terms and clauses of the agreement to sell. So most of you would think that it's very easy. If he's not adhering, we will confiscate or forfeit his given amount, and that's the end of the story. Now to those of you who think like that, I would like to guide that that is not the case in India. Even if a buyer with whom you have an agreement to sell if he has not completed his agreement, he can actually get you all entangled into a very serious situation with litigation by going to the court and filing a case of specific performance. Everybody knows that court cases can get very tedious and delayed, and just to buy time or to harass you or to hassle you, he has a right on the basis of that agreement to sell to go to the court and hook up or loop up your lovely clean property for years in litigation. That is why even an innocent looking agreement to sell, which you think is something not even complete or not even part of the main transaction, can actually tie you up and tie your property up in knots. So even for that, please always refer through a professional lawyer. So please do not do anything in India without help and guidance of a professional lawyer. The next thing that is that a lot of you, we have encountered a lot of people who are buying and selling those properties which they have purchased from the developers, that is these commercial offices, residences, and all of these properties that you have invested in through property developers. A lot of you actually get allotment letters, and on the basis of the allotment letters alone, you wish to sell that property further. Now, it is very important for you to know that there are, just because you sometimes circumvent the system and you actually just deal with the developer only in-house, you are carrying a lot of risk, because those sales and purchases that you do, limiting yourself to dealing with only the developers and not the government authority, can land you in a lot of trouble later, because those sales are not valid. So in my next episode, I'm going to only elaborate on sales and purchases done through the property developers, and I'll go through the whole system of how you should be conducting yourself when you're selling a property or which belongs to a developer or a society, or you're buying a property in the similar way. What are the checks and balances, and what is it that you need to keep in mind? And these things are important, so that again you should not. Now this is a separate topic we would be taking out separately, and likewise I would now also go into greater details on repatriation of the funds, because that is the ultimate objective of when you sell a property, to take that money outside India. So which are the agencies that are in play? How best can you repatriate? What are the fixes that are required so that you absolutely take your money back smoothly without any glitch, so that you are not stuck? Some of these topics would be now taken in my subsequent video, which would be aired next Saturday. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining in. And please, if you like this video and if you found the information useful, please like this video, share it with people. It will, I'm sure, help a lot of people who probably are looking to sell properties in India. Subscribe to our YouTube and subscribe to our Facebook video if you like this and you would want to continue notices on what we are planning to do in our videos ahead. And also please, I would be very encouraged if you could give me a feedback, letting me know how more can I help you, what more information, are there any specific topics you would want us to touch upon legally, any specific help. I would again tell you, we have a very, very responsive website. It is nrilegalservices.com. For debunking any myths or any rumors, we are regularly posting on our blog, which is again a blog for NRI Legal Services. We are active, our teams are very, very motivated, and I'm sure they would be further motivated by getting a lot of feedback from you, and we would feel encouraged and help the NRI community worldwide further. Do like us, call us anytime. If you go on the website nrilegalservices.com, you would get an access to all our offices all over the world, and also our main numbers in India. You can call on any of them, and you would be surprised that the team is absolutely always geared up to help anyone with free guidance, free consultation on any situation that they might be facing in India. And I would definitely be looking forward to seeing you and meeting you again next Saturday. Thank you.